So today we're going to talk a little bit about this. So Kylie Feuerbach made the all Big Ten defensive team. Caitlin Clark reposting it saying Rumi was doing the defensive part for both of us for years. And for Kylie Feuerbach, it's a really, really weird one. It is a really weird one because I think there's a world where, like, you have to at least, if you're at a Fever, you consider taking Kylie Feuerbach in the draft. Not like an early pick, a second or third round pick. Like, I get it, she is Iowa, and
Caitlin Clark's own words, a bombshell dropped in plain sight. Rumi was doing the defensive part for both of us for years. That seemingly innocent repost about Kylie Feuerbach making the all Big Ten defensive team isn't just a friendly shout out, it's a direct, almost prophetic hint at the Fever's next strategic move. Her college roommate isn't just a former teammate, she's quietly becoming the most talked about yet overlooked piece in Indiana's complex roster puzzle, a potential secret weapon whose value is finally becoming undeniable. The implications for the entire team are staggering, shifting priorities in ways no one anticipated, forcing a reevaluation of who truly holds value on this high-stakes roster as the Fever look for their next foundational piece.
You consider taking Kylie Feuerbach in the draft. Not like an early pick, a second or third round pick. Like, I get it, she is Iowa, and I know I've been pushing for them to, go for Hannah Stuckey and stuff. But, like, last year, a lot of people were like, some people were pitching Lucy Olsen to the Fever. People were then like, oh, it's Iowa bias. People just want all the Iowa players to go to Indiana. And I'm like, hindsight being 2020, like, I still think the Fever made the right pick. I still think it was the right thing to do, taking Michaela Timpson. But hindsight being 2020, Lucy Olsen is 10.
For Kylie Feuerbach, this isn't just another draft year. It's a bizarre, high-stakes game of chess where she could emerge as an unexpected queen. While many dismiss the idea of the Fever drafting another Iowa player as Iowa bias, remember the Lucy Olsen comparisons last year. Hindsight reveals Olsen as 10 times the player Michaela Timpson turned out to be. This isn't about fan favoritism, it's about identifying undervalued talent, a hidden gem capable of stepping into a crucial role when the established stars become financially untenable. The parallels are too strong to ignore, setting the stage for a strategic acquisition that could redefine the Fever's defensive identity and roster construction.
The right thing to do, taking Michaela Timpson, but hindsight being 2020, Lucy Olsen is 10 times the player Michaela Timpson is. Like, KK Timpson is just hypothetical. He is just a complete. She's a hypothetical, but like Kylie Feuerbach is just Lexi Hull, and I understand Lexi Hull has been a significantly better shooter than Kylie Feuerbach. Like, was a significantly better shooter in college than Kylie Feuerbach is. But like, Kylie Feuerbach is the kind of glue for the 8th best team in the nation. Like, that is not easy to be.
Feuerbach is the kind of player every championship contender secretly craves, the glue. She anchored the 8th best team in the nation, a role far more difficult and impactful than many realize. Her understanding of Caitlin Clark's game, developed over years as her roommate and teammate, is an invaluable, ready-made synergy that can't be taught. This isn't just about individual skill, it's about established chemistry and an innate familiarity with the game's biggest star, a connection that could immediately elevate the Fever's cohesion. Such a relationship offers an instant advantage, a shortcut to on-court understanding, making her far more than just another draft prospect, but a natural fit.
And how vital is that role, especially if you're going to lose Lexi, because it's looking very unlikely that the Fever are going to be able to afford to keep Lexi, Sophie, and Kelsey Mitchell. I personally think out of those three, I still like the best of those three is Kelsey Mitchell. I would obviously, if it wasn't for the fact of the contract situation and the fact that Kelsey Mitchell is a trade asset, I would absolutely keep Kelsey Mitchell. But the thing is, with Kelsey Mitchell being a tradable asset, you're probably now looking at this situation with now looking at Kelsey Mitchell being like,
the harsh reality facing the Indiana Fever is a looming financial catastrophe, a contractual bottleneck that threatens to dismantle their hard-won roster. They simply cannot afford to keep Lexi Hull, Sophie Cunningham, and Kelsey Mitchell alongside their burgeoning superstar. The early Aaliyah Boston contract, a brilliant move at the time, now dictates a brutal financial constraint, forcing agonizing decisions. This isn't a matter of preference, it's cold hard cap mechanics. One or even two of these vital veterans will be sacrificed, leaving gaping holes that must be filled creatively and affordably, creating an unprecedented challenge for the front office.
The fact that Kelsey Mitchell is a trade asset, I would absolutely keep Kelsey Mitchell. But the thing is, with Kelsey Mitchell being a tradable asset, you're probably now looking at this situation with now looking at Kelsey Mitchell being like, okay, do we have to go and trade her? Or if we end up keeping Kelsey Mitchell, you might lose Lexi. It's like, do you want to lose Lexi or Sophie? And like, even though Lexi is nearly irreplaceable, I would rather keep Sophie and draft Feuerbach in the third round, where second round, where she'll probably be available.
Kelsey Mitchell, despite her undeniable talent, has transformed into a tradable asset, a financial chess piece on the Fever's board. This brutal truth means that if they want to retain her, they might be forced to part ways with Lexi Hull, a nearly irreplaceable defensive presence. The dilemma is stark. Do you trade your best scorer for future assets, or lose a critical role player for nothing? It's a lose-lose scenario, yet the very problem Feuerbach might solve. A low-cost, high-impact solution emerging from the shadows of the draft, ready to fill a void that will inevitably open up.
Might lose Lexi. It's like, do you want to lose Lexi or Sophie? And like, even though Lexi is nearly irreplaceable, I would rather keep Sophie and draft Feuerbach in the third round, where second round, where she'll probably be available, and have her do Lexi things. Because yes, Lexi Hull's a better player than Kylie Feuerbach. But like, as far as the getting over screens, drawing charges, the hustle plays, they do that in a similar way. They absolutely do that in a similar way. The difference is that Lexi, who has been at her best as a much better offensive player.
The strategic choice is becoming agonizingly clear. Keep Sophie Cunningham and draft Feuerbach. While Lexi Hull is the better overall player, her nearly irreplaceable defensive hustle could find a surprisingly similar and much more affordable replacement in Feuerbach. The current cost-benefit analysis overwhelmingly favors a player who can replicate Lexi things, drawing charges, fighting over screens, making those crucial hustle plays without commanding a hefty salary. This isn't just a theoretical pick, it's a practical, financially astute move that makes the most of limited resources, maximizing impact on a minimum contract.
Who has been at her best as a much better offensive player in Feuerbach, but Lexi's been a horrific offensive player as a pro. Like, Lexi has been, outside of a purple patch to end one season and start the next season, like, she's been terrible. I'm going to be real here. She's outside of that situation. She's been terrible. So it's one of those things with Lexi that it's very important when it comes to Lexi, the defensive playmaking. But I've always said getting rid of Lexi becomes really, really tough.
Lexi Hull's offensive game has been frankly horrific outside of a brief purple patch of form. This brutal assessment, while harsh, highlights why replacing her is not purely about finding an exact clone, but a player who can fulfill her vital defensive role without the significant financial commitment. Feuerbach, while not a prolific scorer, brings that same defensive intensity and glue guy mentality, making the comparison less about overall talent and more about specific crucial responsibilities. The Fever need a player who can do the dirty work, and Feuerbach fits that description perfectly, proving her value beyond simple offensive stats.
Clark was the worst off-ball defender I've ever seen in basketball. Like, genuinely, I thought that she might have been the worst off-ball defensive player coming off screens I've seen ever in my life. KK Timpson is like levels above. Like, sorry, Nalissa Smith's worse than Caitlin Clark, but like, KK Timpson makes Nalissa Smith's off-ball defense look competent. So, like, I'm okay with them doing something and getting rid of her and replacing her with someone better. Stokey is better, but like, it doesn't have to be Stokey, obviously. But if the Fever are gonna lose Lexi Hull, which there's a genuine chance that they will, and that's not like even a knock on Lexi Hull, like, it's
the financial disparity is the key. Lexi Hull is projected to command a contract in the range of $500,000 to $600,000. Kylie Fearbuck, however, could be signed on a 4-year minimum deal. This isn't just smart business, it's survival. The Fever cannot afford to overspend on role players when they face the looming prospect of a max contract for Caitlin Clark. This substantial difference in salary creates a compelling argument for Fearbuck, transforming her from a draft curiosity into a financial imperative, a cornerstone of sustainable roster building in a league with tight cap restrictions. Imagine the nightmare scenario. The Fever mismanage their cap space, leaving them unable to pay Caitlin Clark her max contract. Or worse, stuck with negative assets like some past high-profile blunders. Every single dollar counts. Signing Lexi Hull could jeopardize future financial flexibility, creating a domino effect of poor decisions. Fearbuck offers a clean slate, a cost-controlled asset that allows the Fever to prioritize their superstar while maintaining crucial depth. This isn't just about one player, it's about the entire financial health of the franchise, a strategic pivot to secure their long-term future. Between Lexi Hull and Sophie Cunningham, the choice for a valuable trade asset is clear. Sophie, her superior shooting, passing, and overall offensive game make her a significantly more sought-after commodity in the league. While the gap in their overall game might not be massive, it's enough to sway trade discussions and asset value. This distinction further underscores the Fever's difficult choices, highlighting why Fearbuck's low-cost, high-hustle profile becomes so attractive, allowing them to potentially keep a more valuable trade piece while still filling the defensive void. Fearbuck represents a ready-made like-for-like replacement for Lexi Hull, a defensive specialist who understands the game's nuances. The idea of having both on the same team, however, is a roster spot luxury the Fever cannot afford. It would be a waste of resources, a duplication of effort that prevents other necessary additions. The strategic move is to swap them, to upgrade financial flexibility while maintaining defensive integrity. This isn't about diminishing Hull's contributions, it's about optimizing the roster for both performance and economic sustainability, a ruthless but necessary decision. To those who cry Iowa bias at the mention of Fearbuck, let's be clear, this isn't about collecting all of Caitlin Clark's former teammates. Nobody is advocating for Monica Sonano or Kate Martin. This is about identifying a specific skill set that perfectly aligns with a glaring roster need and a critical financial constraint. It's about smart, targeted drafting, not nostalgia. If Fearbuck fills a vital role for an affordable price, her alma mater becomes irrelevant. Her talent and fit become everything. This is pure basketball business, devoid of sentimentality, focused solely on winning. The Fever's roster issues extend beyond the wings, with the power forward spot remaining a significant question mark. Michaela Timpson, unfortunately, has been a hypothetical player, consistently looking lost on the court. While there are other promising prospects like Grace Van Slooten or Hannah Stalkey, Fearbuck's potential emergence highlights the broader need for practical, impactful players over theoretical potential. The team needs contributors, not projects, especially when foundational pieces are in flux, making Fearbuck's immediate impact even more attractive amidst other roster uncertainties. The criticism of Michaela Timpson is stark and unflinching. Her positional sense has been described as among the worst seen in a professional player, often found standing there in space watching offensive rebounds go in. It's a damning indictment, suggesting a fundamental lack of awareness that makes even Nella Smith's off-ball defense look competent by comparison. This candid assessment of Timpson's struggles highlights the urgent need for a replacement, creating an even clearer path for a player like Fearbuck, who despite a different position, embodies the kind of defensive effort and awareness that has been sorely missing. Beyond individual player performance, questions have been raised about Stephanie White's ability to develop players, with Michaela Timpson's struggles overseas cited as a prime example. If a player consistently looks lost, it signals a deeper issue than just individual talent. This lack of development capacity further emphasizes the need for players who are already closer to a finished product or have a clearer, more immediate path to contribution. Fearbuck, with her proven defensive chops and established chemistry, reduces the burden of extensive development, offering a more immediate return on investment for the coaching staff. The irreplaceable nature of Lexi Hull's defensive playmaking and relentless hustle cannot be overstated. Her ability to consistently make those crucial plays is a unique asset. However, the financial reality dictates that irreplaceable can sometimes be replaced by similar, cheaper, and equally effective. If the Fever lose Hull, they must find a player who embodies that same defensive motor and impact. Fearbuck is that player, offering a practical solution to a seemingly impossible problem, stepping into massive shoes for a fraction of the cost, ensuring the team's defensive identity doesn't vanish. Fearbuck presents an irresistible combination. High upside with incredibly low risk. She'll likely be available in the second or even third round, requiring minimal draft capital. This isn't a gamble, it's a calculated strategic investment in a player who fills a critical need, offers immediate contribution, and fits perfectly within the team's burgeoning financial constraints. This approach minimizes the potential for error, maximizing the return on investment for a team that cannot afford another misstep, positioning Fearbuck as an unexpectedly vital piece in their long-term vision. The looming loss of Lexi Hull is not a reflection of her talent or effort. It's a stark consequence of the modern WNBA salary cap. It's not a knock on her. It's a cold, hard truth about financial constraints. The Fever simply cannot afford to run it back with their current core, forcing painful decisions that impact fan favorites and crucial role players alike. This inevitability opens the door for someone like Fearbuck, whose affordability and comparable skill set become her greatest assets, transforming a financial problem into a strategic opportunity for an unexpected rise. So, what does this all mean for Kylie Fearbuck? She isn't just Caitlin Clark's roommate, she's quietly becoming the Indiana Fever's financial and defensive savior. Her ascent into the WNBA isn't just a feel-good story, it's a strategic masterstroke, a testament to finding immense value in overlooked talent. By providing similar defensive hustle and understanding at a fraction of the cost, Fearbuck allows the Fever to navigate their complex roster decisions, secure their financial future, and maintain a competitive edge, truly becoming their secret weapon in plain sight. This isn't merely about one player replacing another, it's about the evolution of roster construction in a cap-strapped league. The ability to identify high-impact, low-cost talent like Fearbuck is the difference between contention and stagnation. Her potential arrival signals a new era for the Fever, one where strategic foresight and financial pragmatism dictate success. Will this calculated risk pay off, proving that sometimes the most valuable assets are those hiding in plain sight, endorsed by the superstar herself, ready to ascend and redefine their role?